Alright, hello everyone, and today let us look at a user-defined function to check whether a file exists in our computer or not. As you can see, I have a list of file paths here, and some of these are existing in my computer, and some of these are not existing in my system. So I need to create a function to know whether these files exist or not. Now in Excel, we have many functions already inbuilt, but we do not have a function to check the existence of a file in the system. So let us create one. For that, go to Developer tab and click on Visual Basics. You can also use Alt plus F11 for this. Let's click Alt plus F11, and this is the Visual Basics editor window. You cannot write a function code in Sheet 1 or this workbook area. You need to right click on the Project Explorer window and click on Insert and insert a module. Now I already had one module, so I have two modules now. Let us write the code inside any of the modules. Since this is a function, we do not start by writing sub. We'll start by writing function. So function. Now let us give a name for this function. Remember, this will be the same name you will be using while you are using the function in the worksheet. That is, for example, if you are using VLOOKUP function is equal to VLOOKUP, the Excel will be suggesting the function here and you will be using the function here. So this is the same name you need to use when you are naming the function here. So function, I will name this as does file exist. You can use uppercase, you can use lowercase, or you can use a mixture of both. Here, I'll use a mixture of both. Does file exist? Now, let us declare the arguments. Now, what are arguments in a function? Let's go back to our worksheet and look at one example. Is equal to if is a function. Here, the logical test, value if true, value if false, these are the arguments. The arguments are also ranges or values that we give inside a function. So for this function, that is does file exist function, what are the arguments required? The argument we require is the file name. So it is a range where the file is saved, or the value of the range. So let us assign that argument here. File path as string. Since the path is a string here, I'll assign string as the data type for the argument. Now, the data type for the function does file exist is true or false. So we can use Boolean data type for this. So function does file exist arguments file path as string as Boolean. Click enter and here you'll write the code for the function. Let us start by assigning what the value or the formula for this particular function is. So does file exist is equal to, here the logic in this function is that if the directory of the file path we are giving as argument is null, or if it doesn't exist, then the file does not exist. So let us write the directory of file path is equal to VB null string. Now this case means that the file does not exist. In Boolean data type, we should give what value is true. Now, if value does not exist or the file path does not exist in this computer, it should say false. So let us add here not, which means if the directory of this file path is not null, or if it is not an empty value, it means that that file exists. Now, this is the code. click enter and let's close the VBA editor window, and let's go here and type in our function. We start by writing an is equal to, remember the function name which we give? Does file exist? As you can see, Excel is suggesting us that function. Let's double click on this or use the button tab, or let us finish writing the entire function here. I'll double click on this, and inside the parenthesis we can select the argument, that is the file name. Let's close the parenthesis and click enter. See, this file exists in this computer. Now let us drag down the formula. See, the second and the third files do not exist in my computer. That's why it is showing false. The first and the fourth files exist in my computer, and that's why it shows true. Now, this is how you create a user-defined function or a custom function to check whether a file exists in your system or not. I hope this was a very informative video, and for more UDF or user-defined functions, and if you want to learn just user-defined function in basic or in depth, please watch the other videos that I have already posted.